And you will get that recording either later on this afternoon or tomorrow morning. So keep an eye out for that. Also attached to the recording is going to be a survey. We value your opinion as WGU students and alumni. So certainly take the time to fill that out. Should take you no more than 2 minutes. As I had mentioned, chat is open, so feel free to post into the chat. We will have a designated Q&A at the end of the session, so if you want to ask questions, I'd probably recommend holding off till the end to be able to ask those. And then if you do want to, during that Q&A, come off mute and ask any questions that you might have, you'll have the ability to raise your hand. We can call on you and you can come off mute, ask those questions. So feel free to do that. This is part of our Winter Career Quest. So thank you for joining us. If this is your first session, or maybe you've attended a few others, definitely take advantage of those opportunities for Career Quest. Some fantastic sessions, whether it's employers recruiting for open roles, or if you're interested in a specific career topic from maybe it's from an alum, maybe it's an employer where they're touching on some different things in your field. So great opportunity to build your professional network that way. So definitely take advantage of that. From here, what I will do is I will certainly stop talking. We have our alumni liaison team and then 2 alumni that are here joining us today. I will pass it over to Andrew and Laura if you guys want to introduce yourselves, and then the alumni liaison team introduce yourselves from there as well. That would be fantastic.
Okay, I'll go ahead and get started. My name's Laura Rush, and I'm so excited to be here. I'm so grateful for the invitation to talk to everybody. I'm a 2-time alum of WGU. I got my MBA in Healthcare Administration in 2016 and my Bachelor of Science in Nursing in 2021. So I loved it so much the first time around. I just couldn't wait to come back and take advantage of these resources again. So I'm a nurse. I have training as a veterinarian, and I've been working in healthcare administration, research administration for quite a number of years, working on human subjects research, and actually allows me to pull in all the different things I've learned at WGU. And I think we'll be talking more about some of the other activities that I've been able to get engaged in since then. So I'll turn it over to Andrew.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. I'm Andrew Davis. I'm a senior director in the tech industry and a WGU alumni from the class of 2007. I've stayed connected ever since, and I've connected with thousands of alumni. It's really inspiring to see the impact of our community, and it's been the cornerstone of my career, so I'm glad to be here today.
I just got goosebumps already. So I'm Danielle. I am one of the alumni relations liaisons. 2 of my colleagues are also here, Michelle and Roxanne, and I am in the Northeast region. So I'm very north in the Northeast region. So I am here in New Hampshire, shockingly with no snow at the moment. Pretty jealous of Laura. And I'm going to be kind of behind the scenes manning the slides today. So our alumni speakers and then my 2 colleagues are going to be the stars of the show. So happy to be here and be able to share all this awesome information and some personal experiences with you guys.
Hello, I'm Michelle Stepp. I am the alumni liaison in the Southeast. That's 7 states, Tennessee to Florida, and Mississippi to the Carolinas.
And hello, I'm Roxanne Bohack. I am the alumni liaison for Central Region, and I am located in Ohio.
I'm going to go ahead and share the screen now. So if someone can just confirm that they can see it, once I do, that would be lovely, and we'll kick things off.
Perfect. We can see it.
Okay, we just want to put in presentation mode, then we can start. Or we can just go ahead and get going anyway while you're messing with the presentation mode, Danielle. So today we're going to start by talking a little bit about WGU alumni. The first thing we're going to talk about is regional events and councils. You want to go ahead and get going with that, Danielle? I think we're frozen on it. Oh, now it's gone.
I am sorry. Let me leave myself
We
unmuted.
joked about this. We joked about before that it's going to do this when we're doing that, but I can just go ahead and get started while it's coming up because it's just going through some of the things that we have in our region. We say region to region because even though everyone has an alumni liaison that represents the region, there are some things that are different. Our goal is to connect alumni and connect them. It just works out that every time we are making those connections, they naturally happen with events. And there's students at events, there's potential students at events, and we have different focuses. So we love to have family-friendly events. We love to have career-focused networking events. And what we were showing you is there's a cool thing on our site. So please check out our website, and it shows everything. There you go, from region to region. There's the map. So it outlines the states that are in all of the regions. And there's pictures of all the liaisons, and there are email addresses. So some of the regions has distinguished alumni council, and that is what Laura's going to be talking about here in just a little bit. And basically those are experts within our region. For example, the central region has a combined DAC now, we call them DACs. So that is Ohio and Indiana alumni. And what is presented to them is, numbers, what is happening, current trends, and we get a lot of really great feedback from our alumni, and they serve a very essential role in those. Also impactor networks. So every region now has impactor networks that are at least getting started. Speaking on my region, we have a tech impactor network focusing on working with a nonprofit agency actually that already has some things started in the tech world. And everyone's different. Some are tech impactors, some are healthcare impactors, education impactors. So those will be popping up more and more. And we are seeking, our experts in the field, our alumni, for their information and how we can grow these networks to have all of the type of impactor networks within the regions. We work year-long with a Distinguished Graduate Award. These celebrations are growing bigger and bigger, so it's super exciting. All of us are working to have those closer to our graduations. And it's started off as a small event that's just growing larger and larger, and will include alumni and partners. And really, we get so many great distinguished graduate nominations. It's really hard to choose from, but it's so great to get them, and we can honor our alumni throughout the year, and really tap into such a great pool of people that want to help, our alumni that want to connect. We have a lot of virtual events. I'll show you a picture in a minute, but I know Michelle hosts a lot of like speed networking events. Yeah, we'll go there. That's up on the right. We have a lot of meetings. So, and again, in my region, there was a chapter started and it's alumni led now. So those are a lot of reoccurring meetings like the ERG meetings as well. And so that's a great way for alumni to connect throughout the country, actually. So we always like to promote those. Volunteer and civil service opportunities. Those are for not everyone likes to have big, fun, huge gatherings. So we have small gatherings, we have large gatherings, and it's really neat to be able to connect with the community because that's really important to our alumni. So we work within WGU with strategic partner managers, with partner agencies, and we can host events. For example, we have nonprofit gift buying and gift wrapping, a place where community can connect with our alumni, and really great turnout. So all of these things can be found on our website. We are always putting out there different things that are happening. All upcoming events will be on there. And these are just some pictures that we've had from from the years too. Sorry, Daniel, I keep going back and forth, but this is an example, a screenshot of our website. And this was taken probably about a month ago. So we had some upcoming events, and here was one of the nonprofit community events. We also have, the Career Quest. These are also events we'd love to partner with for services and promote that. And then different mixers and different fun events. I have one that's a warming ice skating event in Cincinnati. So please, check that out. Go to our website, see all the upcoming events. I know Cody on our team is working with posting past events, so you can kind of get a really good idea to see what you're in store for. And we'd love to have suggestions too. So please reach out to your liaisons and talk about things you want to do. And we're always open to collaborating with that as well. So with that being said, I'm going to take this to Laura, and she is, like I said, a DAC member in the Central Region. So I want you to talk maybe a little bit about your experience with being a DAC member. If you want to share anything else about events and experiences that you had.
Well, great, thank you. And I should have mentioned during my introduction, so I work at Ohio State University. I'm in the College of Medicine, and I am director of the Learning Health System Core there. And so being asked to be on the DAC for, originally it was just for Ohio, and now we've expanded to include Indiana as well. That was just such a great honor for me. And, what I've gotten out of it is the chance to really learn more about WGU. Like Roxanne said, we go over the numbers of who's enrolled, what those demographics look like, what's it like in the different colleges, and look at what's projected, and then try to troubleshoot if, how can we get more people interested in the health sciences or the health professions? What can we do for IT and things like that? And so the other DAC members, we all use our contacts either at our work or our professional network and see where we can help make connections. It gives you a chance to really think about how to build the workforce, how to get more people engaged in WGU and be able to go back to your own network and say all the great things that are going on. And it gives you a really strong connection with the leaders at WGU and with all the staff members as well. I've really enjoyed getting to know everybody, as well as the other DAC members. So we make connections all through the region about that. And you get to learn about new initiatives and get the scoop on that and maybe have some input into how those could be formed. So it's really fun, really engaging. And I've also been to several of the live events. So I've had a great time going to one of the celebrations, a networking celebration right before the graduation at Cincinnati last year. And we rolled out an initiative with our Veterans Administration here in Columbus, and I got to go to that when that was announced at our Veterans Memorial. Again, just a great way to network, meet students, staff, and leadership at WGU. It's been a great opportunity. So I would encourage all of you just to, think about what resonates with you as you're thinking how to get engaged in these activities going forward. There's something for everybody, whether you're more of an introvert or an extrovert or somewhere in between. You can find something that would be fun for you.
I love that. Thank you. And that's a good thing to bring up, is that a lot of collaboration, working, and I was at those events that you mentioned too. So we have some amazing large scale events. And then, some more quaint and, one-on-one type of events, and just great connections. Every single time that I'm at an event, I meet an amazing alumni. I hear their stories, and just to see them all connecting. So like in these pictures, these, a lot of times this is the first time some of these people have met, and it's just that instant connection that you have, and it leads to so much. So I appreciate you, Laura, sharing some of that and how you serve on our DAC, and we're continuing to improve those and grow those DACs and, turn those into impactor networks as well. So thank you for sharing. The next alumni I'd love to hear from and talking about our ambassador program. So I touched briefly on that, but Andrew, if you want to talk a little bit more about that program.
Yeah, thanks so much. Yep, as I said, I'm Andrew Nevis. I'm alumni from 2007, and I'm the Alumni Ambassador Co-Chair. So it's great today to be surrounded by fellow WG students and alumni, night owls across the board. When I graduated WGU in 2007, I didn't really fully understand how much this university would continue to influence my lifelong goals after my degree. Of course, I wanted my degree, I wanted the certificates to go with it, but I really wanted to change how my career was going. It's become the cornerstone. Um, Over the years, I've been able to engage in many different ways, including alumni ambassadors. It's given me the opportunity to attend alumni events, partnership signings, socials, and even seeing WGU represented at industry conferences. I liked hearing about Laura's experience too. It's amazing how our mission, WGU's mission, resonates across industries. I'm really fortunate to work alongside people who share common educational foundation. Um, it reminds me that staying connected with WGU is an amazing networking opportunity that's positively impacted my career and those I work with. At ASRC Federal, where I work now, I've met over 50 WGU alumni, and we do actively recruit from WGU as well. I've attended a wide variety of events, including recently a partnership signing where WGU's leaders announced a partnership with AmeriCorps to expand opportunities for students and alumni. It's something I've done myself at my company. As an ambassador, though, it's one of the most meaningful ways I've been connected. I've been able to represent WGU in ways that go far beyond what I've expected. We cut across the regions and are dedicated to representing WGU, sharing our time and experiencing, engaging with students, Night Owls, other alumni, and others. Right now, we have over 400 ambassadors. I think it's 409 as of December. We meet quarterly and are engaged by the university to drive what ambassadors want to get out of the program. So this is a program that we drive what we want to get out of it. We provide impact at WGU to stay innovative and responsive to our needs. This month, for instance, we're hearing from University Partnerships. They're actually a group I learned about previously and have since caused my company to become a partner with WGU. We collaborate with WGU's government relations team to educate legislatures about the university mission and its role in supporting student success. We share our stories to inspire current and prospective students to see what's possible. We attend networking events, bringing alumni together to share ideas and celebrate accomplishments. And we connect at with WGU at conferences, trade shows, and public events. And finally, we advocate for WGU. It's social media by sharing content, answering questions, and amplifying the university's voice. It's really important, though, to understand the Alumni Ambassadors is owned by and driven by the alumni. It's supported by the university, of course, but it really gets focused on what we want to do, how we want to do it. In short, the ambassadors are really a bridge between WGU and the rest of the world. The participation as ambassadors is as unique as they are, but we help showcase the incredible impact this university has with people, building deeper connections within the community. So you're able to meet other alumni ambassadors, you're able to find out about events and activities going on, and opportunities in the greater WGU university ecosystem to connect and grow your career. So if you're passionate about WGU, helping others succeed, and helping your own career grow, I really encourage you to consider taking on a role as an alumni ambassador. I'm going to drop the link. Hopefully it'll let me drop a link into the chat. That's the URL to apply to be an alumni ambassador. And I think it's really great if you do so. What I'll add, though, is even if you can't be an alumni ambassador, if you can't make that commitment or you just don't want to engage in that way, there are so many other ways to collaborate with WGU. Joining alumni groups is important, like WG Connect. One I'm heavily engaged with is the WGU Cybersecurity Club. We have a Discord channel where I chat almost daily about career opportunities and how you should engage. Oh, I'm sorry, we're jumping all over the place, I guess, or I am. And looking out for those events like was mentioned. I've seen local events, I've gone to socials, webinars, industry conferences. It's a great way to stay connected. So sorry I jumped over the slides a little bit, but I really hope you join me as an alumni ambassador or connect with me and engage in other ways.
Great. Thanks for that, Andrew. We're going to jump into some of the other platforms that you can use as an alum outside of the event spectrum. Danielle, can you go back to the other slide that you just had up previously with the website? We always want to make you aware that your hub for everything alumni is the alumni website. And so that's where you find it, wgu.edu/alumni. It was recently redesigned. So we're constantly tweaking it and making it better for everything that we know that you guys are trying to find. And how do we know that? Because we constantly have incoming questions from you in email, how to find a variety of things, including but not limited to events, transcripts, diplomas, everything you need. But we also want to get into 3 kind of platforms of ways that you can leverage your network. Go to the next slide, Danielle. And the first one will be WGU Connect. So this was recently launched at the end of 2024. And this is a platform for our community. I think Andrew's on there. I actually think he might be in this screenshot we took of a conversation that happened. This is where you can, in real time, speak to people on a platform that is a closed community. So you can talk about everything from your professional aspirations, job search, resume, meeting people in your area. You could just post in there, hey, is anyone in this city and town? Andrew can definitely jump in with more of his experience on how that's going, but it's growing. I think at the last count, we were over like 600 alums on there. Students also are on the platform, and so it's a great place for them to meet alums in a closed environment. So that has just launched as well. To find that, you can go to the website that I just showed. It's right at the very top because it's just launched.
Yeah, and I think to foot stomp that, it's a closed community. What's nice about that is you're talking with and meeting with other alumni, not in some of the more open areas, which you still want to connect on LinkedIn and other areas. But this is an area where you could talk to people who have the same educational background experience as you and ask those questions and connect. I almost always read who's engaging and look them up on LinkedIn and see what they're doing and see how they're engaging. So it's a great way to build your community, which can, again, impact your career overall.
And I think it's one of those platforms that's meant to be, like we said, a community, but it's also very conversational, a little bit more conversational than what you would find on LinkedIn. On the next slide. As we talk about LinkedIn, LinkedIn is by far our largest alumni community to date. And this is an opt-in community where you can go and find us and join. These numbers are actually outdated. This week, we just surpassed 55,000. So we're growing very quickly with people finding us. So that is your main resource of alumni community is LinkedIn. If you're on there, we also realize that not everyone is on LinkedIn or that's not their jam. That's why we have all these different places for you to communicate and find each other. And that's why we also introduced WGU Connect as another resource for those people who may not really like LinkedIn and they want to talk kind of in real time and closed community. So we have LinkedIn, we have Connect, and then to keep going, we just launched the end of September, WGU Ask a Grad. And this is what we are calling flash mentoring. So if you just have, let's say you just have one question that you want to ask about something in your career or anything from how do I make myself a competitive candidate? I want to speak to someone who works in this field in this state. This is a really interesting platform because you can submit one question. There's no login. You just type it in to the prompt, and on the back end, AI will aggregate a list of alums that they think can answer your question, and then it will send out an email to those alums and say, "Hey, do you have time to help a student?" And this is what the alums see when they receive it. Do you have a minute to help? And so when you send your question out, the alum gets the question and they can determine whether they think they can help, they want to respond to you right then, or they can pass. This is open to anyone. It's open to students, it's open to alumni, it's open to prospective students, staff, I mean, anyone who wants to have their question answered. We have a very high response rate, and we've been very pleased to see how in-depth the answers have been on this platform. Alums truly want to help. And we're seeing things like you can see on this slide, this person was asking about how to become more competitive in School of Tech. And then the alum responded, and he really dug deep into things that, if our staff were answering those questions, we would not have the answers to those questions. We don't work in that field. So they were really digging deep on platforms. A lot of alums will respond about how to build a portfolio. We've had alums respond that are hiring managers, and they would say, like, I'm a hiring manager in cybersecurity currently, and this is exactly what I'm looking for. We've also had people just lay out, 1 to 10 steps on here's exactly what you need to be doing right now. The answers from alums are very thoughtful, very in-depth, and also we've been really amazed to find that most alums will reply with a phone number or an offer to meet on Teams with you. They're going a little bit more in depth than we even imagined. So we've been really pleased with this platform, and we encourage everyone to, if you have a question about anything in your field, jump into Ask a Grad. It's been really successful so far. Next slide. So Andrew talked about alumni ambassadors. So I think we've covered that a little bit, but I think at this point we can get into questions and answers if anyone has any questions.
Yes, thank you guys for your patience with our bumping all over the place. We had some last minute changes. So thanks everyone for hanging in there.
And feel free, if you do have questions, post those into the chat, or if you want to raise your hand, we can take you off mute as well, whatever you are most comfortable with. And it looks like we do have somebody commenting. Stefan, that is I would say very useful, considering I come from that office, and I would say connect directly with one of our career advisors to help you through that job search process. So certainly feel free to connect with our career office. What I'll do is I'll post that link into the chat so you have access to that as well.
And RJ, the next question I see is about alumni trips. I've actually talked about that. A lot of universities have hosted alumni trips. I've actually hosted alumni trips myself. And so that is on the table as something that could be happening in the future. If you have interest in that, reach out to me specifically. I'd love to talk to you about it, what places you'd like to see, where you'd like to go. That definitely could be an area in which we grow in the future.
It's actually funny because when I go on vacation, I look on LinkedIn for alumni in the area. When I visited Iceland last year, I actually went to an event that alumni was sponsoring. So that's
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's great, Andrew.
I actually spoke to a few members of the Distinguished Alumni Council in the Northeast at the AmeriCorps event that Andrew was just talking about, and they bumped into each other on a cruise ship. Unbeknownst to either of them, that the other one was on it. The only complaint is that they did not get a selfie. I'm like, how did you miss that opportunity? But yeah,
you always got to bring your hat or your
a flag, something. Yep,
shows that you're there. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking at a lot of Ask a Grad questions about platforms good for asking alumni who have graduated with the same degree. Yes. You can be very specific in your questions. I'd like to speak with someone who graduated with this degree, who is currently working in this industry. Yes, type as much information as you can in there because that helps AI pull the right people that they think can answer your question. And then also, you can ask as many questions as you want. I mean, one at a time,
I think the reverse for Miranda. If it's not very specific, it'll still get to somebody. It just might not be as tailored. Like if you don't mention if you're a nursing degree or an IT, you might hit someone with the opposite, which if you ask me like IT, cyber, career, stuff like that, I'm gold. I can answer. If you ask me about nursing, I don't really know the nursing opportunity. It's just not my area of expertise. You'd really want to talk to Laura or someone else, right?
Yes, I'd want to be as specific as possible. Now, there are some questions that we have had that obviously we don't have that information about alumni. Like we've had people write in about, okay, I work in this, but I'd like to hear from an alum who has a side gig of something else. We don't know what side gigs alums have, so that would be a question that probably wouldn't be answered. But if your question isn't answered, it usually shoots back to us, and we kind of help as a team get those answered if we have people that we know specifically can answer your question. Also, the alum answering the question, if they can't answer it, they can, but if they know someone who can answer it, they can forward it along too. So everyone is working behind the scenes to try to get you the best response that we can.
Yeah, I've actually forwarded someone who asked about certs. I don't have that many cybersecurity certs. I graduated so long ago, but I have a friend who's collected like 35. So if you want to know, like, is this cert better than this? I'm like, go talk to Steve. Let me connect you.
Yeah. Sarah, about career change, you can ask a grad about career change. A lot of people have done that for sure. Definitely transitioning teachers is a big topic in that too, in career change. So I would definitely drop it in. If in doubt, ask the question, because we have been blown away by how it has matched people up with the perfect answer. Any other questions?
I think that's an important point. Ask a Grad, of course, leverages our network of night owls, but I do the same when I've connected with over 4,000 on LinkedIn. The diversity of where WGU alumni work and live is amazing. So it's a wealth of knowledge, really easy to start connecting with different industries and regions and recruiters and anything you can imagine to help your career. I couldn't have imagined, 17, going on 18 years ago, that I'd still be meeting new alumni every day.
Great point.
That's also,
We
if
see-
you want to connect with me, just look for Andrew Debus on LinkedIn and send a connection request. It's totally cool.
Roxanne, did you have something?
No, I was just going to piggyback off of what Andrew said. I mean, we see that all the time. I know, in my region alone, there was a teachers chapter and a nursing chapter, and now it's combined, and just even some similarities within the field and how they're helping each other. I'm just a fly on the wall in some of those meetings, and it's just really neat to see that connection and how the different industries kind of intertwine as well.
Mike's question about job placement assistant or referrals. RJ can address some of that. I would say on the alumni side, jump into the LinkedIn group and say what you're looking for. A lot of people have done that and been successful in that area. That's a great place. And then also Ask a Grad too. And also WGU Connect, all of those platforms, post on all of them, cross post and just put out there what you're looking for. And usually people will jump in to lend a hand.
Yeah, and one thing I would advise too, if you go on LinkedIn, you can actually search for WGU graduates and you could search for like recruiters and just start connecting with them. They'll post the jobs they have and available. You could do that you could search by region, you could search by company, you could search all different ways. What I would say is the instant you connect with someone, don't ask them if they have a job that would fit you because they don't know you, they don't know what's going on. But you could look at their company postings and things like that. You could say, I see this job, I think it relates, can you help? I would also say from a person who's hired hundreds of people last year, referrals that's like 5% of people we hire are referrals. It really is a lot of people applying to jobs that make sense. So if you can't find that referral, I wouldn't back away from applying to a job that is a fit, but also just make sure, yeah, it's a fit and I'm presenting myself well. Actually, the Cybersecurity Club, I do a presentation on demonstrating your value, and I know there's other Career Quest guides to help you with your LinkedIn and your resume and how you present, stuff like that. So dig into those if you're having trouble getting that first step.
Yeah, and I would say that WGU Ask a Grad, there have been a lot of people writing in asking if anyone would be willing to look at their resume who's working in the field currently. We've had a lot of response to that as well. So that's another place for you to reach out to.
And I saw Mike's comment. Kristen beat me to it too. Highly recommend connecting with one of the career advisors to walk you through that job search process. We have certain things that we usually recommend to people, like, hey, here's a checklist. Like, did you do X, Y, and Z? Handshake is a great platform, but it shouldn't be the only platform that you're utilizing. You don't build a house with one tool. So it's something where, as many resources that you can access to help you through that process. Andrew made a great point as far as connecting with different people, building that professional network. Like, I think that's huge. We did a webinar a couple months back for a cybersecurity, and one of the questions that was asked to the alumni panel, there was 3 alumni, like, hey, how did you land your current job? And all 3 of them didn't interview for their current job. It was all from referrals and networking. So definitely take advantage of that, of building that professional network, to take advantage of that. And then without a ton of experience, we also offer some different things, micro internships to gain experience. So definitely take advantage of some of those. You can find that on our experiential learning page on the careers website. So take a look at that, see if there's any opportunities there to to, as you're working through your degree, if you are an active student, you can maybe do some different things to add to your tool belt here. So definitely take advantage of that.
It's worth noting too that this is part of why we're having events, is to allow people a chance to connect. So if you attend an event, there's always a time and a place for being social, but you can also approach that event with a lot of intention about people you want to meet. You can ask us for help meeting people. Roxanne said it perfectly. We're just flies on the wall for the most part. A lot of our job is getting people in the same space, and from there it just takes off. So also think of every event you see as an opportunity to network.
And also, we realize that not everyone lives in an area where there may be an event. We have thousands of people all over the country, so we'll be hosting more virtual events too, to also give you a way to meet people quickly in the online space. Anybody else have a question?
I also love everybody just posting their LinkedIn into the chat. I think it just goes back to that networking piece. Like, take advantage of the opportunity to build your professional network, connecting with different people. Jumping into maybe some of these other Career Quest sessions this month, and sharing your LinkedIn that way too. So definitely take advantage of that. Any other questions? Give people a second. Just a reminder, session is being recorded, so we will send that out either later on today or tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that, along with the survey. Should take you no more than 2 minutes to fill that out. But if you want to go back and reference anything during the session, feel free to do so. I don't see any other questions. So what we can do is we can wrap up from here, but certainly appreciate everybody taking the time to jump on, and like I said, take advantage of that networking piece. To the alumni team, to Andrew, any final words that you all wanted to share prior to us wrapping up?
I think for me, having been an alumni for so long and been in a career journey which started, very early to where I am now, pretty senior, the important thing is to start taking steps to engaging with others, engaging with the university. It doesn't mean that every month you're going to be doing something, or even every quarter. You're here for that growth that WGU gave you, and that support that'll be there for the rest of your life. So, connect and engage when you feel great, and then keep it going. And maybe in 17 years, you'll be telling other people how you succeeded.
I also kind of want to make the note. I saw Tori in the chat where she hasn't worked in a few years and it's unfamiliar. Networking is intimidating, and sometimes it's uncomfortable. And so everyone feels that way. Not everyone's a natural born networker. Tori, I welcome an invitation. I'll extend an invitation to meet with me personally. We can kind of talk through how networking works and how you can kind of dip your toe in it. I would love to talk to you more about that.
Yeah, and something that might be easy for you, Tori, is on LinkedIn, if you have a profile that looks, hey, you're a regular person, so work on that first. You connect with a night owl and just say, hey, I'm a fellow night owl, and I'm looking at this and looking at this. I have thousands of connections, and that's really how I start the conversation. Is I'm a night owl, I'm looking to connect with other night owls. I see you're doing this, and 90% will accept, and the ones that don't, I just move on. It's really, really easy. It's a very overwhelming and welcoming community. And you have a lot in common with them already.
Yeah, and I always tell people, the network of alumni that you have, that came paid with your tuition. That is a perk of going to WGU, and we have one of the largest alumni networks in the country. And so you immediately, messaging someone and saying, I'm a fellow night owl, that is an instant icebreaker. And more times than not, people will respond. That doesn't guarantee that they'll help you achieve whatever you're trying to accomplish, but more times than not, they will give you a chance and respond back. More apt to do that than other people are. So use that to your benefit, leverage your network.
one thing I'll add is that our team is new. We're about a year and a half or so that our team has existed, and we're driven by you guys. So it's really helpful when we hear from you what it is that you want and need, because that helps us to make decisions. And every region has its nuances and has its own flavor. So it really does help if you have a thought or feedback or anything for you to let us know, because we're here for you all, and it helps if help us help you, I guess, is my message.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. Fantastic job to the Alumni Liaison team. Andrew, fantastic job. Certainly appreciate you all taking the time to jump on and present. And thank you everybody for jumping on and learning about some different opportunities to build your alumni network here with WGU. Everybody have a fantastic rest of the day, and reminder session was recorded. It will be sent out either later on today or tomorrow. Have a good rest of the day. Take care.